This week on Just Jason Keto and More, we're making some savory, crispy Bocconcini chaffles. So let's get started. Okay, so for today's recipe, it's going to start out just as a basic chaffle mix. We've got our one large egg here. We've got 2/3 of a cup of shredded mozzarella cheese. We've got some shredded Parmesan cheese. This is to help make these crispy chaffles. The main ingredient for this week is some Bocconcini slices, and that's what these are here. So this is a soft, fresh cheese. Now this isn't really going to give the chaffles a lot of flavor necessarily. That's why we're going to add some of this Greek seasoning to the chaffles. It's just some clubhouse seasoning here. The Bocconcini cheese is just going to add to the texture of the chaffles. Like I said, it's a fresh, soft cheese. As you can see, it's you can pull it apart like mozzarella. So that's going to be our mix for this week. So we'll get set up and we'll start putting this together. Okay, so we've got our egg ready to go here. I've mixed it up a little bit already. So we're going to add our mozzarella cheese. Again, this is just 2/3 of a cup of shredded mozzarella cheese. We'll get that. I'm going to start to mix that in there. This should make 2 chaffles kind of thing, so we'll get that good and mixed in. Now this would be a good time, if you're enjoying these chaffle recipes I put out every week, please consider subscribing. Just to help the channel grow. We're getting pretty close to 5,000 subscribers, which is really exciting. So hit that thumbs up as well, so you're never, and turn the bell on so you don't miss next week's video. Okay, so we've got our basic mixture ready to go here. We're going to add in the Greek seasoning. Now this is probably, half a teaspoon kind of thing. As always with my recipes, you can add more or less, different. You can put different spices in this if you want. Again, we're not going to add much flavor with the cheese that we're adding, so we'll just use some spices to kick it up a bit. So that's basically our mix. I'm going to add this in sort of as we put it in the Dash Minis, which we're going to use here. So what we'll do is we'll set this stuff aside and we'll get the Dash Minis warmed up and we'll start cooking. I've actually decided that I'm going to take the Bocconcini here. Again, this is 3 slices of the Bocconcini. Now I've pulled it apart into smaller pieces, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add it into the mix just to make sure that when we put it in the Dash Minis that it gets well incorporated and spread out kind of thing. So again, we'll get this mixed in. The waffle irons are preheating as we speak. Once they're ready to go, we'll come back and start cooking. The Dash Minis are both warmed up, ready to go here. So we're going to add a layer of this shredded Parmesan cheese on the bottom here. Again, we're trying to make some crispy chaffles this week. This will help with the texture on the outside of the chaffles. So we'll get a good layer of that down, let it start melting in the waffle irons, and then we'll take our chaffle mix here. As you can see, everything's nice and well mixed in here with the seasoning and the soft cheese. So we'll add that in to our waffle irons. I had someone ask on my last video, how do you make sure you don't spill out the sides? Which in all honesty, quite often I do. I clean it up before I reveal the chaffles most of the time, but it's really just practice. Half the time it's basically when you start to see and think one more spoonful will be enough, then you're usually good enough there. So this is usually what I do as far as how much goes into the mix. We're going to make 2 chaffles this week, so we're going to add a little bit more of this Parmesan on top so that both sides are nice and crispy. Get that on there. And then we'll close up the waffle irons, and these will take 4 to 5 minutes to cook. And so I'll bring you back when they're ready to go, and we'll see how they turn out. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes. The steam has stopped coming out of the Dash Minis, more or less. So open these up. You can see we've got 2 really nice and golden brown chaffles here. So what we'll do is we'll get these out of here. You can see that nice crispy outside. And we're going to put these aside on a wire rack just to let them cool a little bit, and then we'll be back and give them a try. So here's our Bocconcini and Greek seasoning chaffles all finished up. You can see they're nice and golden brown on each side. I don't know if you can hear the crispy texture of them. They smell really good. I'm hoping that the cheese pull on these is extra nice because of this soft cheese that we put in. So let's give that a try. So break this apart here. Give that a nice pull there. I can see the Bocconcini cheese in the middle there. It's gonna, work a lot like cream cheese would ultimately. But again, I'm just going for the texture of the soft cheese. It's not really going to add any flavor. That's where the Greek seasoning came in. So let's give this a try and see how they turned out. Yep, those turned out really nice. The Greek seasoning adds a great flavor to the chaffles, and they are super crispy with a nice soft cheese inside the chaffle. So I would definitely say that this is a thumbs up. Really enjoyed them. Hopefully you liked the video as well. If you did, consider giving it a thumbs up, and like I said before, subscribe and turn on the bell, just so you won't miss next week's chaffle video that will come out at 5 p.m. Eastern. And join us 7:30 p.m. Thursday evenings live on the channel, just where we hang out and talk about keto for an hour. So that's about it. We will see you next week. Keep on thriving, my friends.